Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another What Are You Playing episode of Games My Mom Found for February of 2026. It is weird to have to say that. I only do it with these episodes. And who's been playing some games with me tonight?
I'm Zach from Absolutely the Best Podcast, A Work in Progress. And I'm a little bummed that Michael Colby isn't here to say, that's insane, every time I have a take that he doesn't agree with.
I am too, actually.
I'm teasing. He knows I love him, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But I got to get my digs in where I can.
Hey everyone, this is Joe Larrey, and I hope you're ready to take a walk with me on a path of complete randomness, because boy oh boy, do I got a lot of random things this week.
Perfect. Me too.
I like that, because I have... So I'll go first. I have no games to talk about that aren't for the show, because that's all I do. So... Literally all I do is I don't play any mobile games anymore right now. I play Mahjong once in a while. That's it. I don't play a single mobile game right now.
Since you brought up mobile games, I was considering bringing this up. Has anybody, I'm sure at some point somebody has to have brought up Candy Crush, right? On this?
I don't know, actually.
Because that is the one mobile game I play. Like every morning I do, like, I spin the wheel and I get the free treat machine and everything. And like I won't ever spend money on it. And like if you get a streak going, you can like win these races and you'll win gold. So then you can actually like buy stuff without having to spend money. But that's something I've been doing for, I don't know, a decade. And I was just like, what level am I on? It's like 5,500 out of like 20,000 levels.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yep. That sounds accurate. So, you're playing it right.
I kill some time in the morning. Yeah. I kill some time in the morning.
Wrong with that.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever actually like reached the end of Candy Crush?
People have.
Really?
I Googled that. Have. Yes. I Googled that. That's people who don't have any time and just or don't have anything else to do and just play it full time, I guess. But I remember at one point I had looked and I was like, okay, like I'm getting close to, like, quote unquote close to the end. I think I was maybe like 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through, and then they just suddenly made like another 10,000 levels or something. They just keep adding more and more levels. So now I feel like I'm really far behind, but I don't really care. I don't need to reach the end of this.
Yeah, I mean, you're not playing it it's just something to do to kill time, and it's fun. Like the Mahjong game, I only play it when I'm busy doing something else and I just need to be preoccupied for a little bit.
Right.
I mean, that's it. And it's very, very seldom that game even goes on anymore. Not like Marvel Snap, where I used to play it all the time. I looked up Marvel Snap recently and I was like, oh, look at all these new cards they added. That's nice. And I blocked every Facebook group that talks about Marvel Snap, so I don't have to see. I don't want to be like reminded that it exists.
You don't want to get sucked back in?
No, not at all. That feels unsafe. And Zach, what's some games you've been playing?
So another, I don't know if somebody's already talked about this before. I feel like if anybody did, it was probably Phoebe. But it's probably been over a month at this point that I finished Metroid Prime 4, which I like to refer to as Metroid Prime The Wind Waker, because it's very much, I feel like it's borrowing a lot from some Zelda tropes. Not tropes, that makes it sound bad, but Zelda mechanics. But I really liked it. I thought it was good. I know there's been a lot of complaints, and I was prepared. I'm going to spoil a lot here, if that's okay.
Fine.
I was prepared for... let me back up. I'm a huge Metroid fan in general, and every game is at least fine. But I was prepared for the NPCs that you have to interact with and protect. There's a lot of escort mission style stuff in this, and there's like 5 different NPCs throughout. So mentally, I was prepared for that, and it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. So that's good. And I felt like each of the different areas was very well designed. But that's a little bit what I meant by like it's borrowing from Zelda. You have an area that's very much isolated from everything else, and it's well designed. And it's a bit more like a Zelda dungeon. Like you kind of got to solve the area instead of being interlinked with other areas, which is a little bit more Metroid-like. And then you have like this big overworld that is connecting the areas, and it's just pretty much a barren desert, and you can drive a cool motorcycle around on it. And again, I think there's been a lot of complaints about you have to collect these green crystals, which, not the best part of the game by any means, but I didn't mind it because I was having a lot of fun driving around on this motorcycle as Samus. It was pretty awesome. And then I think the biggest point of contention people have with this is the ending. So throughout, you're fighting different versions of Psylocke. They all turn out to be like a robot imposter or something like that, except for the final one. And so you have this big battle at the end with Silex. And the first phase, you have to do a 5-way escort mission, basically. You've got all 5 of your NPCs that you have to keep from getting killed, and it's a huge pain in the butt. It took me so many tries. But once you get past that phase, as long as you don't like turn the system off, you can continue from phase 2. And phase 2 is just super simple. It's kind of, here's your chance to get some energy back. And then you have a phase 3, which is a little bit more difficult. But I felt like phase 1 of that fight was the worst. So at the end, you've got these 5 characters with you. You've beaten Silex, and then he does something. I don't remember what it is anymore, but there's going to be like this. He's trying to explode this piece of equipment that you've just restored to get back to your world, your dimension, whatever, to get off of where you are, right? Okay. And the idea was that the 6 of you, Samus and her 5 compatriots here, you're all going to escape in this thing. And then just as you guys are about to go, Silex comes back. And basically the 5 NPCs are like, we'll hold them off, you go. And then you go. And apparently, according to TB from Nerds of Broadcast, I guess he didn't want to leave. And like, you actually have to press the button to leave. And I just was like, whatever. And I pressed it and I leave. And he said he waited. You run out of time. And then you got to start the fight over again. Like it's
oh my God.
Yeah. So, but a lot of people are upset that like Samus would never leave those people behind like that. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't mind leaving them personally. They were kind of annoying, but also I'm sure that she's coming back from like, what was the other option? Like stay and fight some more. And then now they're all stuck there forever. So I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad. And I still recommend it. I think it's actually the 3rd best Prime game. I like Prime 3 less than that.
I mean, I've only ever played Prime 1, so I unfortunately can't
That's the best one.
Much to them. I've been meaning to play 2 for, 20 years now? But I just don't want to. So it's been hard.
It was interesting with the 2 worlds, but if I remember, that game can get pretty difficult pretty quickly.
That's why it hasn't happened yet for the
record. Well, they made it a little easier when they ported it to Wii, but then you have the motion controls, and that's not awesome.
Yeah, I think you know my thoughts on motion controls. They're not good. No one's actually mentioned it. You are the first person to mention Prime 4 at all on this podcast, actually.
Right,
it wasn't even mentioned the Game of the Years, really. Like, maybe a little bit, but yeah.
It's not a game. It's not a Game of the Year game. And I don't play that. And I don't play that many games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear much about it. I was surprised at how much people did not like it.
I think that just being stuck in development for 8 years or whatever and restarting halfway through, and then I feel like they were in a rush to finally get it out. It's got a lot of rough edges, but I think Other M is notoriously the one that is hated. I guess what I mean to say is it's the one that's most notorious for being a bad Metroid game. And I even like that one. So, use that as your sort of grading curve as to whether or not you should believe me when I say Metroid Prime 4 is pretty good.
Zach, what is your feelings on Federation Force?
That is not a Metroid game. I will not play it. I played like one level of it, and I was like, "This is garbage. It hurts my hands to play on the 3DS." And I've heard about how the game ends, and I was just like, "Wow, I can't believe they did that." So yeah, do you feel the same or differently?
Oh yeah, no, I don't count it as a Metroid game, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, I have not played it. I've watched video. I'm pretty sure that started out as something else, and they just threw the Metroid IP on it.
That would make sense. Yeah, like we got to keep this. We got to keep this series alive.
Yeah.
It's weird to me that they even did that, but I shouldn't be that surprised. So, hey, Joe, do you have some games to mention?
Yeah. Start with the one game. The main one that's really taken my time is that, sure as a lot of people know, I think it was last week that they finally unveiled the Metal Gear Master Collection Volume 2. And I know a lot of people are excited about MGS4 finally getting off the PS3. But there was another game in there that kind of slipped under a lot of people's radar, and to me, I think it is the true star of that upcoming collection, and it's a game that has been stuck on the original Game Boy Color for all these years, and that is Metal Gear Ghost Babel, not Metal Gear Solid GBC. That's a dumb name. But Ghost Babel, I think this is I love Metal Gear. I'm a huge Metal Gear fan, but I think this is a huge standout game in the franchise that a lot of people just have not gotten the chance to play because it's, like I mentioned, it's never been re-released, and copies of this game go for stupid money now. But yeah, I've been playing this quite a bit here. It plays like the old MSX Metal Gear games with some quality of life features from the at the time Metal Gear Solid and even Metal Gear Solid 2, but what they were able to do with this, actually porting over complete Metal Gear story. And believe me, this is Metal Gear as heck. You got a guy who attacks you with boomerangs, for Christ's sake. It's amazing.
It's a great game.
It is. And they even have VR missions in here. And they're the exact same VR missions from the Metal Gear Solid, that VR disc they released a couple of years prior.
It's actually episode 7 of the show.
Oh, wow. That's a early one.
Wow.
It was one of my first picks. It was my second pick, or second or third pick. Oh, really early.
Yeah. And this is it's an interesting game. It's also I forgot that it's set in an alternate timeline because apparently only the original Metal Gear happened in this timeline, and this is like the direct sequel to that.
But also, Acid are part of that same timeline, they think, too.
Yes, because the guy who did this also did Acid. Yep. And that's a whole. Have we reviewed those games too?
That's like the card trading one or something, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Play the second one.
That's a weird choice.
Don't play the first
one. But yeah, no, I really like this game. I think this is one of the best Metal Gear games in the franchise, and I'm just so happy it's finally getting re-released. So yeah, so everyone can finally play it at an affordable price. And I believe, I don't know if I know Konami said that all the games in that collection you could buy separately. I don't know if that counts for this one, but I hope it does.
They also took off Peace Walker, and people were upset because you used to be able to buy Peace Walker. Then right after they announced it, or right before they took it off the Steam store, I was like, "Damn it! I should have bought it sooner."
Hot take: I think Peace Walker is really overrated.
I've only ever played it once on the PSP, and I never got super far. It's one of those things on my list. Like I need to get around to it someday.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's also, I kind of think MGS4 and everything after that point is kind of when Kojima just totally lost his mind and went bonkers with the series.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
Yeah.
Zach.
So I got a couple of Playdate games I wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, that little thing with the crank, right?
Yeah, the little yellow system, which I bought right when it came out. Like I had pre-ordered it and all that stuff, and I never really spent a lot of time with anything on it because every game seems like a gimmick where it's like, how can you come up with a cool way to use the crank? And I know that there's fans of it, and I'm not trying to shit all over this system. And I also thought it'd be something cool for my kids to play with because they were a lot younger, a couple years ago when it came out. And then they just also didn't really have much interest in it. They'd rather play Roblox on their iPads. But there was a game that came out for it recently called Diora. It's kind of like Diorama, I think, because of it's a isometric view puzzle solving game. Like you're pushing blocks around and things like that. But what the crank does here is it spins the playfield around on the Z-axis freely, which is pretty incredible just to see done on the Playdate if you know anything about the system. And have either of you played Monument Valley, any of the Monument Valley games?
Yeah, one of them.
Okay, so
which one?
Yeah, it's a lot like that where you have this this isometric view. You can rotate the playfield, and in Monument Valley, the entire game is about you using the perspective to solve the puzzle, kind of like what's his name, M.C. Escher paintings. Where, if you look, you look at it. If you rotate it right, then these two beams line up, and now you can walk over here. Whereas when it was rotated the other direction, you couldn't. So I was originally likening this game to that, but without that extra added perspective component of the puzzles. But it does turn into that eventually, which is pretty cool. And then when you get to the end, there's only one boss in this game, and it's the final boss. And when you get to the end, you pretty much have to learn all the tricks you pretty much have to use all the tricks that you learned along the way. So I thought it was really a great game. I couldn't stop playing it. I really wanted to get through it. It is difficult sometimes, super easy in other parts. It's a little pricey for a Playdate game. I don't know what it's going for now, but it was $15 when it released. But I was like, I got to try this out just because it looked incredible on that system.
That does seem a little high for that system.
Yeah, I mean, all the other games usually come as a part of like a subscription kind of. Like you don't keep paying it. You buy a series, and then I think a series is maybe like a year or something. And every so often they put out a few games that are part of the series. But there have been also one-off games that you can buy like this. And one other game I want to talk about for the Playdate real quick. This one's not available yet. I have a friend named Terry Kinnair, and he has started doing some game development, and he decided to make one for the Playdate. And he made a game. He's calling it Princess and the Portals, And so you play as a wizard. You're supposed to save this princess in a castle, I guess we'll call it. It looks like caves and so on. But you have two portals. There's two buttons in the Playdate, the A and the B. So you have an A portal and a B portal, and then you can shoot them wherever you want, and you aim with the crank. And so you have to solve platforming puzzles that way. And it's pretty fun. I like it a lot. He got some great music from some other friends of his. But this game, he's still putting the finishing touches on it. It'll be out in maybe like a month. But because he was looking for people to play test it, and I was like, oh, I got to play date. I'll do that. And I guess I gave him the most feedback of anyone and helped him find some real bugs. So I got like a lead tester credit on that, which I thought was
cool.
Yeah, that's it for the Playdate stuff.
All right, and Joe.
All right, so I'm going to talk about a really random system here that I'm fairly certain has never been mentioned on this show and probably will never be mentioned again, and that is been playing around with the television.
Mm-hmm.
You are correct.
Yes.
My friend had one when I was growing up. That's how old I am.
But yeah, this is a really neat little system. It's an interesting controller. For people who don't know the television, it was kind of like a rival to Atari, and it had this, I guess, like a dial controller is the way I can describe it. It has like a dial knob you turn, and then sort of like a numbers laid out like a phone.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And two games I wanted to highlight is they're still really impressive. What blew my mind back in the 80s when I was a kid playing these. They're both Advanced Dungeons and Dragon games. The first one is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Cloudy Mountain. The way that I could describe this is almost like a pre-Zelda game, because the way you go in is the game starts, there's an overview map, and you go into different caves. And when you go into the caves, it kind of turns into like the Zelda top-down view where you explore the cave, you have to fight monsters, you find items. It's interesting because there's no HUD elements anywhere. You actually have to press a button to like find out. Like, it will make like a noise on how many arrows you still have. And then also, and to like progress across the map, you have to find like a boat so you can go across rivers, or an axe to enter the forest, or like a specific key to open this gate to go through here. And I don't know, it's really simplistic. I admit nowadays you look at this, people would be very confused by it, but just back in 1982, I would imagine this would probably blow people's minds. And then the other game is Dungeons and Dragons Treasure of Tarmin, and I do not know how they got this game running on this system. It is a first-person dungeon crawler, essentially, but there are over 200 different dungeon levels. This has like a stalking enemy. Long before that was the thing, where you're constantly stalked by like a Minotaur-based character. And like you do have you have a spiritual and war health is what they call it, and you have to monitor this because not only do enemies drain it, but it will also drain over time. So you kind of like how we have like hunger and thirst meters or mental, depending on the game. This was already implemented back in this game a long time ago, and you have to check like which items you have equipped in your hand, because you can have like two swords, or you can have a sword and shield, axe of that nature. Right. It's just really, and it looks really good as well for the time. It just blows my mind that in 1982 someone got this running on a television.
That is impressive.
And like the enemies, like you can tell what they are. The details are surprising. Have not been the second game yet. It is pretty difficult. And also all the dungeons, they're randomized every time as well.
Okay, so hey, it was a roguelike before roguelites, huh?
Yes, it was. And I wonder if it was like with the first Dungeon Explorer, because that was definitely not something you saw a lot of back then.
No. I mean, I know enough. I know very, very little when it comes to like in televisions before when I got into video games. I've never went back that far. I mean, I did play an Atari 2600 when I was a kid because my uncle had one, but that's the oldest for me. Really, for me, it's NES and SNES when I started.
Yeah, no, I think that's for a lot of people. It's just I don't even know what made me want to play this. I think I was just looking for some simple, quick games, and I have this laying around. I don't even know how I came into possession of this thing.
Okay, I was going to ask if you actually have the system, or was it emulated?
No, I have the system. Yeah.
Well, the remake system of it, right?
I have both.
Oh,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, although I'm missing the overlay cards, but you could buy these little cards that would go over the controller that would
Yeah,
like
they would
tell
come
you
with the
what each
game.
button do. Yeah, so I don't have those, but yeah, no, I have the original, and then I have the flashback that does have some of the games installed on it. But yeah,
that is
you
cool,
left out
though.
you left out the part of the controller where it's got the buttons on the side that are impossible to
yeah,
squeeze.
yes, oh god, yeah, and that's how you have to like select a lot of the games. And I was like,
Yeah.
before I was just clicking buttons on the controller, I'm like, why is nothing working?
That's the Intellivision though. I believe that's the first actual 16-bit home console. It was
It
like
is,
way ahead of
yes.
its time. And then, but
Oh.
the cartridges are only 10-bit.
Yeah,
It's weird. Yeah, it's a real
That's
weird
just- yeah,
system, but they
it
do
really-
impressive stuff with it.
It is, yes. There's a lot of other games on there. It's pretty cool, but I just wanted to highlight those two just because they are still really impressive even today.
Oh,
That
that's
even
cool.
had I think it might have been a separate add-on, but didn't it do voice synthesis?
It did, yes, it did. That was a separate add-on that I do not have, unfortunately.
Yeah, my buddy had that because I remember he had B-17 Bomber.
Yep, that's
I
the
can hear it
one.
going B-17 Bomber.
Yeah, I think that came with the add-on. I don't remember if it's packed.
Oh,
in or
maybe.
not.
Yeah.
There you go, people. Yep,
It's a
little
system
bit
I
of
never
history
hear
there.
about. No, I like that. I remember. Yeah, I remember you mentioned that you bought that. I was like, oh yeah. I remember they were doing a bunch of those. Like we got an Atari one, I think, too. And
Yeah,
there were a few that came out. It was during that time after the NES Mini came out, and everybody's like, oh my god. Yeah.
yeah.
I bought the PS1 Mini when I found it on clearance for like $30, and I hacked it and loaded a bunch of ROMs on, and then I was like, why did I do this for? And then I never used it again. So,
I gave mine away.
Yeah.
I was like,
Didn't it?
I did it for my wife,
actually.
but PS1 games are hard without save state sometimes, so. So I just didn't buy. I was like, "What's the point of this? I have a computer that I use that can then just do all this better." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Does your computer look like a PlayStation 1?
It does not. I don't even know where that PS1 Mini even went. It's got to be here somewhere, but I haven't seen it in years since I moved. So who knows?
Weren't the game ROMs based off the PAL region, so like the speed
Yes.
of them was all messed up? Yeah,
Yep,
okay.
the ones that came on it were not the ones I put on, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dumb. I don't understand. It was just that phase when they were just doing that, and then
Yeah.
but it's over now, which I'm okay with. And Zach, do you have some more games?
I mean, I could move on to movies. I was going to talk more about Wind Waker, but I feel like I've talked about that too much.
I don't mind. Wind Waker's I'll always hear about Wind Waker.
Well, so I've been replaying Wind Waker because it is my favorite Zelda game.
One
And
of the
it's
best.
gonna be, it is the best, right?
One.
It's gonna be the one of the games for Retro Game Club pretty soon.
Oh,
and
nice.
so I've been playing it. I've been wanting a re-release on Switch, of course, but they're not doing that. They put it out on the NSO Plus GameCube version. And actually, I think I prefer the way that the GameCube version looks. I've never played the Wii U remaster or whatever. It looks too smooth to me. I feel like the GameCube one is more cartoonish, and I really like that. It appeals to me. But so I've been playing this slowly over several months because I've been busy with other things like Metroid Prime and podcasts. But the problem I was having, because it's the GameCube version, you got the controls up in the corner,
Yeah.
and it shows you what you have mapped to each button essentially. And the GameCube controller, if nobody knows, here's one of my hot takes Colby's going to hate, the best controller. It's got a big green A button and then a little red B button, and then like around the A button there's these kind of gray kidney bean shaped X and Y, and then you got like the Z button and a trigger button where those would normally be. So if you try to then mentally map that in your head to a standard controller of today, right, for the Switch, you just have the standard ABXY and their cross formation, and I was having so much trouble hitting the right button. So I was like, okay, I got to get something going here to get the controls right. And I was looking for what I wanted, because I had been playing the Switch 2 handheld mostly. I wanted something that I could get Switch 2 Joy-Cons that were like a GameCube controller. And I looked for a long time, and then somebody sent me a link, and I was like, yes, that's it. That's the one I want. And it says for Switch 2, right? So I ordered it. I get it. It's actually Switch 1 Joy-Cons, but it will work as its own separate Joy-Con, like not on the rails. It'll work for the Switch 2. And I was like, man, that's not what I want. So then I bought these adapters that let you convert Switch 1 Joy-Cons into Switch 2 Joy-Cons so that they'll snap in. So I did that, and it was this massively wide, like ridiculously wide system at this point, and it feels floppy because it's got 2 connections on each side that aren't super stable, right? So I was doing that for a little bit, and I was like, all right, this is okay. It's, it is making it easier for me to use the controls. And then I got distracted and did Metroid Prime for a while, and I started playing Metroid Prime 4 on my TV because I had gotten kind of recently a new OLED TV, hadn't been using it. I was like, well, I should test this out. And I was like, oh, I really like the way this looks. And so now maybe I'm playing my Switch 2 docked all the time. And then when I finally went back to Wind Waker, I was like, well, I can use this dumb controller that I bought and just use it as a standalone controller because it'll work like that. It could not do the 7.5 feet connection from my couch to the to the TV without. It was just super laggy. I was like, what is going on? It took me a while to figure out that if I got closer to it, then it would work, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So then I'm like, all right, that's not going to work. And I was like, oh wait, I have this. It's called the G Bros. I don't remember what, like G Bros something. It's like this little, it looks like a lipstick sized adapter where you plug a real GameCube controller into it, and then it can wirelessly act as a controller for a PC or your Switch. And so I couldn't get it to connect to the Switch 2, and so I'm reading up on that. It's like, oh, you got to update the firmware on this adapter. So I do that, which I had to download some software for, getting everything hooked up, and it's like the original GameCube controller does not work properly with the GameCube service that Nintendo provides. It's like the buttons aren't mapped correctly for that. Because it's missing some, right? But so it's like, so then I finally just bought the $80 one from Nintendo that's meant to work with the GameCube, so went to work with the GameCube system on the Nintendo Switch 2 service, and it works great, and I've been happy with that, and I've been making some progress again finally. I've got I'm down to the part where you got to collect all the Triforce pieces, and I kind of don't really want to do that, even though I've stood up for this game so many times. I'm like, it's not that bad. You know, like collecting all those pieces, it's not that bad. But
not that
bad.
Like,
I don't want to do that part.
I replayed it a couple years ago for the show, and I played the GameCube version because I didn't want to bother with hooking up my Wii U. It wasn't that bad.
Okay, well, I'll get to it. Yeah, I'll just knock 1 or 2 out a night, and I'll be done in a week. But I really like the end of that game. What's that?
I don't know why they won't re-release them on like the Wii U version.
I know, right?
I don't understand.
Idiots like me would pay $60 for it again.
Idiots like even me, because I collect Zelda games, would buy it.
Right?
It's the only thing on Switch I buy is Zelda games.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the end of that, because if I recall correctly, at the end, when you finally beat Ganondorf, you like jump up and stab him down through the throat with your sword, and then he turns into a statue. That's amazing.
Joe, do you have any other games to mention?
2 quick ones. Silent Hill F, I have officially gotten every ending. I have 100% of the game. I really like this game. It was my game of the year last year, so just happy to finally knock that off my list, and I will probably never play that game again unless we review it for this show. And then the other game that, and I'm going to be honest, I hate playing this game, is Pokemon ZA's DLC. Oh my God, I hate this DLC so much.
That good, huh?
It does some really cool stuff. Like, they raised the level cap to 200, which is pretty awesome. There are some really challenging fights. I've had a couple fights where I've literally walked out with just one Pokemon. They got returning characters from X and Y, so I like seeing them. But they made this into a goddamn roguelike. And I'm like, why did you do that to this game?
That's weird.
So for the DLC, the whole thing of this is you can go into portals have started showing up in the city. But to access these portals, you have to like make these donuts to feed to a certain Pokemon. The problem is and with the donuts, they have different stats, but they also have a time stat, because you can only remain in the portals for a certain amount of time, and the duration of the time is how long the donut dictates. The problem is you don't know what the time is going to be when making the donut. There's no, even after you make a donut, there's no like menu thing that keeps track of all the different recipes. So you are just constantly trying to figure out these combination of donuts. I have never spent so much time in a menu in a Pokemon game. And then when you go into the portals, it's the same 3 objectives: catch a certain number of this Pokemon, beat this. And the whole time, the time is is ticking down. Even when you're in a battle, the time will keep ticking. And if that time hits 0 while you're in the middle of a battle, so say like in my case, I'm trying to catch a rare legendary Pokemon and it counts down to 0 right when I'm about to catch the damn thing and knocks me out of the whole thing. I got to restart the whole thing. You can go screw yourself, game.
Yeah,
So,
that doesn't sound fun.
It is not. It is not fun. And the only reason why I'm even doing this, and I mean, Pokemon Company knew what they were doing with this, was the big draw of the new game of ZA was all the new Mega Evolutions. And gonna be honest, the Mega Evolutions in the main story were really mixed. Example, Starmie, but the Mega Evolutions for the DLC are like top notch. They clearly held the best ones for this DLC because they knew. I'm kind of convinced they knew the DLC was crap, so they knew they had to entice people to put up with it. And I'm trying to get a couple of Mega Evolutions here, so I'm forcing myself to play it. But my God, am I not having fun with this game right now?
And they knew there were suckers that would pay for it. So
yeah, that's the other thing. Do not buy this under any circumstances. It's $30. It is not at all worth $30. I want to point out. I want to point out that at the time of this recording, they're about to re-release Fire Red and Green Leaf. Those are $20. Still think that's overpriced, but way better value than $30 for this roguelike DLC.
I mean, yeah, I think it's overpriced too. I'm happy it's coming. Like, I'm like, you know what? You did it, Nintendo. You let people like whatever. I mean, not like you have a service where people pay a monthly to play GBA games. That doesn't exist. I know. But either way, I'm like, you know what? At least you re-released it. I'll still, if I ever want to play it again, I'm going to emulate it, of course. But yeah, at least you did it. So good job on you, Nintendo.
Yeah, it's not. I'm happy it's not tied to the subscription service. Yes, I wish they would do that with other games on that service, but like I would like to buy some of those GameCube games.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that like you have the service and then you pick and like they just randomly choose the 2 Pokemon games they know everybody's gonna buy.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's kind of like I can't complain too much because at least they're re-releasing it. And $20 is a fine price. It's too much in my opinion, but it's a fine price.
Yeah, no, I mean, although I will say Japan, they're getting a pretty cool physical one, although it doesn't have the actual games, but I will admit just everything else about that physical does look really cool, but I'm not going to get it until they actually have the games on there.
It's so weird to me. Like, do they even get a code for the games at least?
No, it comes with a code, yeah.
Oh, okay. At least you get but still, like, fuck.
Yeah, I know, but like Pokemon Company put these games, like they're $40 a piece. You could easily charge $30 extra if you put this on a cartridge, and people they'd bitch, but they'd buy it.
You're like, I would. I'm one of those idiots you're saying, right?
Yeah, no, I would just because I know how much these go individually on the secondhand market now. So $70 for ridiculous. Both of them on a cartridge, that's actually a good deal.
Yeah, that would make sense. Like, why not do that? But then you got to pay for the printing costs. So yeah.
Yeah, I know it's not like the Pokemon Company is the most profitable, multimedia business in the world. But hey, who's pointing that out?
The second market's ridiculous too. I forget how expensive those cards are.
Oh God, I was thinking about getting back into the cards, and I'm like, I wonder how much this one is. Oh, that's $200. Yeah, go screw yourself.
Oh yeah, I was at a mall near my house with my son, and there was just some little vendor guy sitting there with Pokemon cards, and I just kind of glanced by. I'm like 100 something for this hollow card. I'm like, what the fuck? I knew that's a thing because I watched enough TV, and I live on the internet. But I'm like, my God,
yeah,
fucking Pokemon cards.
Also, didn't mean to sound really ticked off there, but this DLC is really ticking me off though. So. And listen, and I know I am part of the problem with Pokemon. I'm fully aware of that.
That's funny though. Yeah, I don't buy any DLC really. Well, not Nintendo. Like
I didn't buy the Scarlet and Violet DLC because that game ran like hot garbage from day one. Although I guess, oh God, I think this coming week we should be getting the big reveal of Gen 10, and I don't know how that's gonna go.
Oh, that's coming?
Pokemon Day, yeah. That's the rumors that they're going to unveil it, yeah. So either the internet will be happy or it will burn to the ground, so we'll see what happens.
I'm just like, oh, Pokemon game, that's nice. I'm still got multiple Pokemon games to get through in the old gen.
Yeah, no, you go play the good ones. Like, I like Pokemon, but I make no illusion that those old games are way better than what we currently have.
I need to play, hopefully this year, I'm hoping to do Soul Silver, Heart Gold.
Oh, heck yeah. That was the last, as far as I'm concerned, the last great Pokemon game.
Right. Do you have any other games to mention?
That is it.
Right. And I think that's all that we have for games, right?
Yep.
All right, let's go to TV first. So I have 3 things to mention for TV quick. I watched Man in the High Castle Season 2. was fucking loving that show. I got to season 3 and I just kind of fell off. I don't know why. I just fell off. Like, I need to get back to it, but I just don't have an interest right now. Like, it's a good show. It's a really good show. But I just lost interest, but I need to go back to it. But I recommend it. It's on Amazon if you're curious. It's interesting. Very, very interesting. Then I finished Stranger Things 4 and 5 because I rewatched all of Stranger Things to get ready for 5. But it was a good ending. I liked season 5. I know some people bitched about it, but I thought season 5 was fine. It has a good ending to the show. It wraps it up in a nice bow.
Is the show over now?
Yes.
Okay.
Aren't they doing
I
a
thought
couple
they were still doing
spin-offs?
Another one.
There's an animated spin-off coming that takes place between, like, I think season 1 or 2 or 2 and 3, which sounds cool. And there's going to be a spin-off coming with Nancy's character, but it's going to take place somewhere else.
Okay.
But the Hawkins stuff is done.
Wait a minute. Who's
What?
Nancy? I thought Nancy was the girl who died in the first season. I only ever saw
that was Barbara.
Her friend. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Did they ever bring Barb back or ever?
No, she's dead. But they do mention her in season 5. She's talked about.
Okay.
So they bring her up, and and Nancy ends up having to deal with like the guilt she still has for leaving her and having her get killed because of her. That plays a part in the season too. So at least they make reference to it in a decent way. But yeah, no, Nancy was the sister of sort of the main character, Mike.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Only one person, surprisingly, only one person dies in season 5. So I was surprised. I thought they were going to kill off a bunch of people and be like, all right, we're done with the show. Let's start killing. But nope, they killed one character.
So about the person who dies, without spoiling it, is it actually like one of the original characters? Is it like a person we've known, or is it another one of those characters they introduce in the new season that's dead by the end of it?
They kill 2 characters. One you knew and one you saw before once.
Okay, got it.
But they kill an important character in the end, in the last episode, which it all makes sense and it wraps it up nicely.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the only other last thing for TV I have is WWE Unreal Season 2, which I guess is only halfway done. That is fun. That, as a guy who gives a shit about wrestling, those are fun.
Yeah. No, as a guy who does care about wrestling, I have very mixed emotions about that.
Well, you watch the wrestling. I don't watch the show. I don't watch any of the shows. So me, it's like a little recap. So then I understand a little bit about the shows where I never would watch them otherwise.
Oh, that's valid. That's valid.
Because I don't care about wrestling. Like, I mean, I like hearing about it in these where they talk about like what they do behind the scenes and what plans they were doing. But as a guy who will otherwise never actually watch it, it is cool in that sense. So I like it. But I can see it as a fan where you're like, I don't need the behind the scenes. I got to see this happen live.
Yeah.
So I get it. I enjoy it though. And that's all I have for TV. Zach.
I've watched a few things recently. Another one maybe has been discussed before, but possibly not. Have either of you seen Pluribus, which is the Vince Gilligan show?
On my list to see, yes.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to watch it. It's on a product. It's on a site that I don't like. Subscription service.
I'm sure you get a free trial and take their money. I don't really want to spoil anything for you. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's, he wrote Breaking Bad, and he didn't just write them, but he was showrunner and directed them and everything. But he did Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, both of which I thought were a lot better than this. But it is a good show. How much of this do you know, Joe?
I know what the whole plot is.
Yeah, I know like an alien hive mind has taken the world, and there's some people that are immune to it.
I know all that because I listen to a podcast, Geekbox, and they break down that show every so often, and so I kind of know like everything. But
so
I won't remember it by the time I ever get around to watching it. So
all right, then most of what I have to say wouldn't be a spoiler, and I'll maybe hold my tongue on the last bit, but. I do think it's a good show. It was entertaining. It was pretty breezy watch, and I really like Rhea Seehorn. She was really great in Better Call Saul. Mm-hmm. But the first episode where they're setting up this thing, there's a signal received at whatever national laboratory, some signals received from space, and they're trying to decode it and stuff. And they make this real basic mistake, I think, in the writing here, where there's 4 signals kind of embedded in this one. They're like, oh, see how there's 4 different bands, and one will be on and the other one, only one of the 4 will be on at a time, something to that effect. And they're like, oh, it's a quaternary signal. Like, it's not binary, it's quaternary. It's like, no, that would be 4 binary bits. It was like a really simple science mistake. I can't believe that got by anyone. So that kind of annoyed me. Doesn't really matter. It's not really important to the plot. They decode the signal, and then it turns out, so the 4 different things are the 4 base pairs in DNA. And so then they generate stupidly, I don't know why anybody would do this, but they're like, okay, we're going to make this DNA strain that we've received from outer space. And that is some sort of virus, essentially, that when it infects people, you get this hive mind. And they're all like they're all about like saving the universe, essentially. Like they want to be able to have the entire universe be a hive mind. So like everybody is cooperating now and stuff. And there's a few people who are immune to it. And that's what the show is about. So that's pretty much the setup, and it's decent, but I won't say anymore. I don't want to spoil it.
Okay. I know.
I have another gripe, but
saying.
it's just going to be people being like, why is he so nerdy and hates science? When people get science wrong in TV shows, which is kind of my thing, is to complain about science.
Aren't you a scientist or something?
Yeah, I have a PhD in chemistry.
Yeah, so you're a scientist.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't have caught even like the things you're mentioning. It went over my head just now, just to let you know.
Yeah, no, that's exactly why I'm just going to stop and not ruin things for my own benefit of just being able to vent, because 99.9% of anybody listening to this is going to be like, I don't even know what this guy's talking about.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about, and I consider myself decently smart, but I'm not. I don't deal with that type of stuff on a regular basis. I don't know science super well. I mean, I did know that if you send a shuttle up to an asteroid that you can't just land on it like that. I did know that. And I did know you shouldn't send a bunch of Oilers up there. I did know that too. So, hey, that's a different story. But
I can't wait to hear that.
I didn't trash on it like Kobe would have.
That's all right. At least somebody was trashing on it.
A little. Only a little.
Should I keep going with shows, or
please? Yeah, any shows? Yeah.
Oh, I've been watching The Pit season 2. I'm sure The Pit season 1, I think, was discussed plenty of times on the show.
A little bit. Yeah. I don't remember. I mean, I'm actually watching it
a lot in the Discord,
off and on. Yeah, the Discord fucking loves that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's great. I'm not going to spoil anything there, not even in season 1, other than say, if you at all like medical dramas, this is maybe the best one. I haven't seen them all, obviously, but I used to watch ER a lot, and I don't know, I can't even remember the other ones.
Grey's Anatomy.
I actually watched like 17 seasons of that, and I was like, when is this going to end? I was like, oh, they're still making new seasons?
Oh my God. Is that still going on?
Oh, it's still going on. Yeah, my wife still watches it.
And she's not even on, like, Grey is not even on it anymore, right?
No, she's only off for a season because she did a different show for one season, and then she came back.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, she's back in the show now.
Right, but it's really good. It's Noah Wyle, and if the rumors are to be believed, it was going to be a reboot of ER, but the Michael Crichton estate, I don't know what their complaint was, or they wanted more money or something. I'm not sure, and so they're just like, okay, it's something different, and I think it's better. I think it's a better show than ER. Their gimmick, so to speak, is that one season is a 12-hour shift, and so each of the 12 episodes is 1 hour in this shift in the emergency room.
But it works.
Yeah, it's grip. Like in season 1, there was one time when it was done, I was like, I don't know how long I've been holding my breath watching this episode. Like, it gets really tense. That hasn't happened yet in season 2, but it's still really good.
I don't care about medical dramas at all, but I've watched a little bit of The Pit when Tiff puts it on. It's not bad. As a guy who give a shit about this type of stuff, I'm like, this is actually interesting.
And they show crazy stuff on it too. Like,
it's a show I'm interested in, but I used to work in an ER, and I don't know if I want to watch a show about an ER.
Well, I would be interested to hear what you have to say about it then, because that's like me complaining about science. If you complain about ER drama, I would be interested to know that. But they show crazy stuff. Like there was a birth, which was, having seen a live birth before, it was surprisingly convincing. And I think on this season, their show, some guy has a priapism, if you know what that is.
No idea.
And they have to remove the blood from his swollen member. And they show all that. It's pretty gnarly.
I just know Tiff is really loving that show.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to watch it at first. I was like, the Discord won't shut up about it. It has to be good. Check it out.
Yes. Yeah.
And so she finally did. It took her a while, and then she's like, damn, this is good. So we were watching Falling Skies yesterday just because the same actor's in it. So.
Which one?
The alien one?
Yeah. The lead guy from
Noah Wyle?
Yeah, he's in that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Maybe I should.
I didn't either.
I really like him.
He came up during the Armageddon talk.
Oh, all right. But we were just saying that like Grey's Anatomy, the show that wouldn't end, and they even did a season, I guess, without her. Similarly, The Rookie, the Nathan Fillion show, where he was the rookie in the first season, and now they're on season 8, so he's 7 seasons of him not being a rookie anymore. But there's always rookies involved, so I guess that's how they get it going. I've been watching that. That is such great garbage TV. It's just something you don't even have to pay that close attention to it. I don't know. I love it. It's a cop drama essentially, and it's Nathan Fillion, so of course I got to watch it for
he's
that.
a good actor.
Yeah, but that's something that you can just you can binge that off to the side while you're doing more important stuff, and it's a really good show for that. I think they're going to have a spinoff too, and it's supposed to have Karen Fukuhara.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
from The Boys and stuff.
Yeah, so that's got me interested too. It's like I think it's like The Rookie. I think it's going to be in Canada. What's the name? West Coast Canada, begins with a V. Vancouver. Yeah, I think it's going to be The Rookie Vancouver, I think is what it's called.
Oh, cool.
So I think they're shooting the pilot for that now. I got 2 more things real quick.
Sure, please.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I think the last couple of times I was on, I talked about how I was always watching Deadliest Catch, and
yes.
I think we're between seasons now. I've still been caught up on that, but it's just, I just like to watch them catch crab. I don't know what it is. That's truly garbage TV that you don't need to pay attention to. But
yes,
my older son has got us watching now Bering Sea Gold, which is even worse. It's even junkier, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of entertaining, and we're just like I can't believe this guy. Like, does he really think he knows what he's doing? We talk about it, so we watch it.
As long as you're enjoying it, like sometimes you just need garbage TV. Like I went through a phase where I was watching Storage Wars. That phase ended, thank God.
Oh yeah, I watched it for a long time too.
And Pawn America, not Pawn America. That's a fucking pawn shit here in Minnesota. Pawn Stars. I watched all that, and then they have like the news show where they go to places, and I'm just like, I'm done. I've had enough.
Was American Pickers the one I'm thinking of, where they travel around?
Yeah, that show. Yeah. That one guy died. I think the show ended a while ago anyway. But yeah, I went through my mood. Now I'm like, I'll just watch YouTube videos instead or something. Like, it's just because I like subtitles and I like sometimes garbage TV where I'm editing, but less now. Also, my job has been way busier, so I don't have time to just put on garbage TV and sit there and wait until the phone rings. So, because the phone don't stop ringing now. So,
great.
I mean, not a bad thing, because I work in a sales job, so it's a good thing, even if I sometimes miss it. It's still a good thing.
Got to make those sales.
Lastly,
I just want to mention that for an episode I'm working on of Robbie Sherman's show, Conversations with something.
Robbie Sherman.
I know.
Okay.
That's the joke. But we've been talking about doing something, and I was like, what about the Clayface episodes of Batman the Animated Series? So I've been rewatching those and taking some notes, and I keep forgetting if there's 4 of them or 5 major ones, but he pops in a couple of times and a couple of other ones, but not really going to talk about those. But that's Ron Perlman doing the voice of Clayface, and you can tell how young he sounds in that. But I really love the character of Clayface, and I'm hoping that they can do him justice in the movie that's coming out.
So in Robbie fashion, what do you like better, the clay or the face? I'm hoping he hears this.
This is a great test to see if he actually listens.
I'll tell him. Listen, I'm like,
that was perfect.
I had to.
Yeah, that's it for me on TV.
All right, and Joe.
Just got a couple things here. So the first one is I've been trying to get caught up on some shows that I've been meaning to, and one of them is Gen V Season 2, which is the Boys spinoff.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go too much into this because it kind of picks up like immediately after where Season 1 ended, and also after Boys Season 4, and that had a big conclusion thing going on.
Does it tie in with the end of Season 4 of the Boys? I've seen Season 1 of Gen V, but not Season 2 yet.
Yeah, so it does. So this takes place right after. Okay, minor spoilers. Homelander kind of takes over the world at the end of Season 4, essentially. So
that sounds accurate. I haven't watched it, but that sounds accurate.
Yeah, we are in
exactly
post Homelander taking control world here, and also I guess at the end of Season 1 of Gen V, the kids, they got sent to a prison, or basically a prison that's disguised as like a laboratory. So they all get out at that point, and at the school now, there's a whole new dean, Cypher. He's a pretty cool villain, I would say here. He's got some interesting powers going on. And the big thing with this one, and is that outside of the show, one of the actors who played one of the main characters, he died. Unfortunately, he died during the filming of season 2. So they do integrate that death into the story, but I think they've done it in a very good way that it doesn't feel like it's for shock value or just there for cheap thrills. It actually honors the character, which I know
that's good.
not all shows do that, but
No.
it becomes a plot point throughout the season, his death and how it actually affects the other characters. So that's very good here. But I do think if you're into The Boys, you definitely should watch this. It's definitely going to have some plot implications for the final season of The Boys here. And like the previous season, there's a couple crossovers with some of the main characters as well. But yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's only 8 episodes, so it's not too long. And they move at a good clip here.
That's one show I tried to watch it, season 1, and I just couldn't do it, and I never went back.
Gen V or The Boys?
Oh, The Boys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, it's really good.
That's what I've heard. I just couldn't. I don't know. I should go back to it someday and try to give it another try. But
I mean, there are some scenes here that are just like, I could understand turning people off, especially in this, like, not a spoiler, but there's a guy in Gen V season 2 who can create a black hole in his asshole. So, take that as you will.
I know it. Yeah, I mean, it's a someday thing that I might get to someday and watch them, but we'll see. It's not. Because I tried reading the comic too, and I didn't get very far. I was like, this is just too much.
But I would say the show is way better than the comic. The comic's very mean spirited.
That's what I've heard too.
Yeah, just stick with the show. I think it handles some situations much better than the comic ever did.
Yeah, I only read like 2 issues of the comic. I was like, I'm good. I do want to read Invincible. I read a bunch of Invincible, but I haven't watched that show either. But
yeah, oh yeah, that's got a new season coming out too.
I haven't watched past season 1, unfortunately.
Although, funny thing about the Boys comic, real quick, just a little tangent, is that originally it was published for DC for the first 6 issues, and it was like one of the highest selling comics. But in DC, someone at DC actually read an issue of it and went, "Oh God, no, we cannot be associated with this," and immediately dropped it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they got picked up with Dynamite. I just think that's kind of funny, though. It was too extreme, even for DC's Vertigo line.
Yeah. All right, and then we should go to movies. I have a bunch.
I got one more thing.
Please.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Watching a show called The Girl from Nowhere. Now, if you've ever seen my post in the Discord, I am a huge horror fan. I'm also a big fan of Asian horror, particularly. And this is a show that's on Netflix. It's from Thailand, and I don't know how I missed this show initially, but it essentially follows this girl named Nano, and her whole thing is she transfers to different schools in Thailand, and basically she just starts like judging people based off like their lies or secrets and stuff. I'm trying to think. Okay. You guys know Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yes.
Do you guys know like the original Yu-Gi-Oh before it got all with the card games?
No.
Oh, dude, I'm trying to think how I can compare. No, it's right. It's just basically, Yu-Gi-Oh would go around and challenge people to certain games, and then they would always lose and die horribly based off like their sins or their secrets or stuff. That's kind of similar to what this is. Oh yeah, original Yu-Gi-Oh is horribly violent, and that's essentially what this is. She goes around to different schools and basically and just starts causing all this. It's got 2 seasons. I'm finished season 1, season 2. About halfway through. It's kind of interesting because they give her a rival in season 2, also has her powers, I guess. Not really clear, but if you're looking for something Asian horror, it's definitely pretty good, and recommend. It's different.
All right.
That's it for me on TV.
Okay, I got a ton of movies, so I'm going to do half, and then I'll come back to me. So first, well, not half, but I'll do some. First, I watched a documentary called Secret Mall Apartment. That was actually
that was good.
Really good.
Yeah.
I recommend that. Hugely recommend that. It was way better than it had any right to be. So it just kind of talks about like what these guys were in a mall in, I think, Maryland? Near DC, Virginia maybe, where they built an apartment inside the mall. They found an area that was kind of locked up, and they just did their own thing, and they were living there off and on for like 4 years before they finally got caught.
Yeah, I think I heard a podcast where they were on talking about doing that. I don't remember what show it was, but it sounded interesting. Yeah,
it's very interesting, actually. Yeah. And they did it for a long time. Like I said, 4 years. And they only got caught because the guy broke his own rules, and he came during the day after they already were noticed.
Yeah, but didn't the security guards they believe they broke into their place and took their PS2 to try to use
They
that
took their
to find it.
PS2 because it had their save data. So when they were
Yeah.
there, it was essentially how can we make a if you're gonna. And they also took their pictures, so they had pictures of the people that were there. They were being security.
Yeah.
How can we make a case against you? So, but no, it's really interesting. I recommend it. And then the other two things I want to mention this round are The Running Man, the 2025 one. Edgar Wright. That's a really good movie, actually. I'm surprised that came out in 2025.
Okay, I'm gonna try to watch it with an open mind.
It's very anti-government.
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with the original novella or whatever. I'm not. Yeah, I guess my concern is that runtime and that I don't like most of Edgar Wright's movies. And
I agree with that statement now.
That you don't like.
I don't like most of his movies. I thought I'm like, man, this guy has some great movies, and I watched more of his movies. I'm like, okay, I like certain ones. But no, Running Man was actually good.
I think you like more of them than I do. All right, I'm gonna try to watch that with open mind because I mean I love the original and I like that for this they're going back to make it more like the book. They're not trying to repeat the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Oh, got it all.
And just So if you're gonna redo something like that, that's the way to do it. So I don't know. Well, I will.
I enjoyed it even with the long run time. I watched it in almost one sitting. I mean, I got up and went to the bathroom, got food or something, whatever. But I otherwise watched it in one sitting. And if you know me, that's a big for me. Most things I do are not in one sitting for movies. So yeah, it's definitely I really liked it. And then the last movie we watched, which I did not like at all, but that's because I didn't like the characters in it, is The Help.
Oh yes,
good movie. It's just God, these people are awful people, and it was upsetting me. But they're supposed to be. I mean, it's 1960s Mississippi, racist as fuck people, so it's accurate to what it should be. But it bothered me a lot.
That's the Poop Pie movie, right?
Yes, it is. Eat my shit. Yes, that movie. I mean, good movie. Just it was tough for me to watch. So, and that's all I have for now. I'll save the other ones till we come back to me. Zach,
got a few. Obviously, I watch a lot of movies for my show and for your show. But
Yes.
Besides that, I did get a chance to finally see One Battle After Another, which I love it. I feel like that pause made it sound like I was like, ooh, I don't know. I thought it was really good. But when I hear people talk about it, I'm like, I don't know, was it that good? I should rewatch it a couple of times. But I really like, from what I've seen, and actually I can only think of one other movie, but I really like Paul Thomas Anderson movies. Like he did There Will Be Blood, and that's one I've watched a bunch of times, and I like it more every time I watch it. So I feel like I probably could rewatch One Battle After Another a few times and like it more. But it's really good. I don't really want to say anything about it to spoil it, other than you should probably watch it. It is also anti-government, so that feels good.
Yeah, that's Running Man is very anti-government, and I was like, that is kind of surprising for that to be released in 2025 because it kind of it hints the stuff that's going on, and kind of like I'm surprised someone didn't scream and cry about this and have a tantrum. So
well, you got to release these movies while you can because it's going to be illegal pretty soon.
I'm trying.
Another one I saw, which is one I've tried to get to the theater to watch it, but I just didn't have time. So I finally got to see it on streaming, and that's Together with Alison Brie and.
Oh yeah, that looks really interesting.
Yeah, what's the guy's name now? I can't think of.
Oh, the Franco brother, Dave Franco. Dave Franco.
Sorry, my son came and started talking to me. I can't think of the guy's name.
Dave Franco, isn't it? James'
Franco, yes.
little brother.
Dave Franco. Yeah,
David. Yeah.
Which I like him in comedies. He's very good in comedic roles, and this is a very dramatic role for him. And I don't know. He was kind of annoying to me. So in that respect, the movie was a little bit of a disappointment there. But I thought it was pretty good overall. And you guys have seen the previews, I take it?
No, I have no idea what this is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's like Dave Franco and Alison Brie, they're a couple, and they move out to the sticks and whatever, and they just basically show things like them kissing, and their lips will stick together, and so the whole thing it's a body horror thing where they're kind of like literally growing together.
Oh,
and there's I hesitate. I'm not gonna say I won't say what I was gonna say because I think if you haven't seen it, kind of spoils it, but they do a good job of tying it into like a religion kind of thing that happens.
Okay.
And, I would just go in knowing that Dave Franco is kind of the worst part of it, and there are parts of it where I'm like, what? This doesn't even make any sense. But then I feel like they fix it in the end. Like I'm like, okay, now that knowing what's going on, it kind of does make sense. And I think I've made sense in my head of the ending because it doesn't exactly add up with what they say is going on. But it was worth watching. And
Okay.
there's a couple of uncomfortable scenes, uncomfortable in a way that I like. Besides that, I watched a movie called Landmine Goes Click. Have either of you even heard of that?
I have not.
No.
So this was one that I heard about on one of those like a stream or not a stream, a short where somebody's like, oh, the 5 most fucked up movies that you won't be able to watch, whatever.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so
one of
that
those
yeah.
lists. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was one of them. So yeah, Landmine Goes Click. It's pretty low budget, and it has actors in it I'd never seen or heard of before. They're not too bad. The acting is okay in it, but it's a couple who are engaged and their friend go on this camping trip in like, I don't know, some Eastern European country. And the backstory kind of there is that the friend and the girl had hooked up one night, and he's like, I think you should tell him, the guy that she's engaged to, like, you should tell him so that you don't have this weighing on you. Like we just got to clear the air, blah blah blah. And she's like, no, she's like, we're getting married, and it's gonna be fine, blah 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 blah. And then they hike out to this spot, and the guy in the relationship decides that they should get married right then and there, and that their friend should officiate it, right? And so there's this awkward thing, and they kind of go through with it or whatever. And then, they celebrate, everybody goes to sleep, they're camping in tents, whatever. And then the next day, some other guy shows up who's just hiking or whatever. He doesn't look like he's hiking like a hiker, so something's up. But that guy agrees to take the picture of the 3 of them. And then while they're getting lined up to take the picture, the guy who's the friend steps on a landmine. And they had said something about, sometimes there's landmines out here in Eastern European countries. He steps on this landmine, and so now it's like, well, you can't move because it'll explode. We got to go get help, right? And then the whole thing comes down to, it was all set up by the guy fiance because he found out about the cheating and he wanted like to get back at them. So he and the guy who showed up is somebody that he hired to help him. And so like they take off, and so then it's just the guy and the girl who had cheated together. They're trying to get out of there. And then some other random dude shows up, and then it gets bad from here because it's just like this really long and grueling sexual assault scene.
Oh.
And then in the end of that part, the girl ends up getting killed because it turns out the landmine wasn't actually rigged to explode. It was just to like torture this guy. And there's like a fight over a gun or whatever. The girl gets killed on accident, and the guy who had assaulted her runs off. And that's like 2/3 of the movie, maybe. It might be only even halfway done. So that was already starting to get put off a bit. The rest of the movie is the guy who survived. He goes and takes revenge on the assaulters, on the assaulter and his family. And so he's got a wife and a girl, and I say girl like she is young. And it goes way too far. And I just don't know how anybody who was involved in this movie would ever work again. That is a do not watch. I do not recommend that movie. It was pretty brutal. And in the end, the very last, it doesn't even end good. He's doing all these things to like, make this guy pay for what he did or whatever. And he's got a gun held to the girl's head, and he's kind of doing like a Russian roulette thing. He's like, you got to do this now or I'm going to shoot her. He like spins the barrel, and he shoots, and he like just blows her head off. And that's the end of the movie. He looks kind of shocked, like, what have I done? But like, that's just the end of the movie. They don't do anything with that.
Why did you watch this?
It sounds like it's trying to be like I Saw the Devil, but it somehow misses the complete point of that movie.
Yes, that's a good movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
it
On
was.
the podcast.
That's a do not recommend. And why did I watch it? Because I was kind of just watching it as I was doing other things.
Okay.
So yeah,
I think you should have just turned it off.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to see how it ended.
Once you're there, you're kind of like, I'm in. Unfortunately,
right. If it had gone on much longer, I might have just been like, no, I'm done. And then lastly, on a more positive note, I didn't even know that this came out until I heard somebody talk about it. But Spinal Tap 2, subtitle "The End Continues," which is, first of all, R.I.P. Rob Reiner. That was a terrible tragedy.
Yes, it was.
But like I said, I had no idea that this had come out. I had no expectations. I'm a big fan of the original. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I've watched it a bunch of times, quoted all the time. So I was like, I don't know. I have no idea if this is going to be good or not. If anything, I was like, I don't know if this was a good idea, but it's pretty good. And I think the thing that made me laugh the hardest was the tap water they have that they sell. But I don't want to, it'd just be me trying to quote this movie and explain the jokes or whatever. It's just more Spinal Tap. It's pretty good. It's I've only watched it one time, but I'm pretty sure it's not better than the original. Nor should you expect it to be. But if you don't like the first one, you're not gonna like this. But if you like the first one, I would say give it a shot. I laughed quite a bit. I enjoyed it.
I need to see the first one someday. It's on my
yeah
list.
Yeah. So my wife was always like, "What is this Spinal Tap movie?" I was like, finally we're like, "Okay, let's sit down and watch it." And she's like, "I don't get it. Why is this funny?" I was like, "Okay, let's not watch this."
That'd be me.
No, it's not for everyone.
That's funny though. All right, and Joe.
Yeah, it's got a couple movies here. The first one, what I'll mention was recently they just re-released it in theaters. Was John Woo's Hard Boiled?
Oh yeah.
Yes, this is. I mean, this might be a hot take. I think this might be the best action movie ever made. People, just a little about the movie. If this is a really, really young Chow Yun-fat, and it follows him trying to get this group of gun smugglers, and along the way he ends up working with a undercover cop who's deep into the triad at this point here, where they try to work together to bring it down. This movie is known for having ridiculous action sequences right from the start. It opens up with a giant shootout in a tea house that apparently, looking into it, like the tea house is about to be demolished, so they just said they'll demolish it for them. And boy, oh boy, did they do that with this scene. And somehow the action scenes just get more crazy as this goes on, ending with a giant shootout in a hospital maternity ward scene, which is amazing.
Okay.
I highly recommend this movie. This is a great movie.
I have somehow never seen it.
Oh, you definitely need to see it. This is a great movie. Once you see this movie, you will be like, wow, I did not realize Tarantino ripped off this movie as well.
I need to watch Tarantino movies because I'm supposed to talk about them.
Kill Bill is now on demand. That Kill Bill Ultimate Edition. It was really good.
I am curious. I saw it like something.
I saw it in the theater. I sat for 4.5 hours there. I loved every moment.
It's a big time commitment. Yeah,
it is.
I'll watch it on streaming.
Same,
because I do like both those movies, so I'm curious to see how they're cut together.
Same.
Are any of you familiar with the comic book Gen 13?
I've heard of it. I don't know what
Jim
it is.
Lee. Yeah, it's a very 90s comic. I guess it's kind of similar to Gen V, where it follows a group of kids who are offered like a scholarship to this college, and really they're being lured into like a government project to be turned into superheroes. And bringing this up because there was actually an animated movie made of this property by Disney of all companies that never actually got released. It's kind of odd. The animation style, I would say, you guys know the Spawn anime series that was like on HBO?
No.
Familiar with it? Okay.
No.
Trying to think here on the side, like that 90s animated style, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
Okay. Like,
did this get released unofficially then?
Yeah, it's gotten released on it. It's like on YouTube and everywhere, so it has been dropped. And part of the reason why there were two reasons why it did get released. One was it was very violent. It has a lot of sexual things in the movie. And number two was that the company that published the comic, Wildstorm, during the production of this movie, they were bought by DC. And Disney, and this was right around the time when Disney was also doing were getting bought up by, Disney was buying Marvel. So they were like, yeah, we are not releasing this. No, it's dead.
They can do a tax write-off, so that's what they did.
So that exactly. But it's just weird to me. This is one of those weird footnotes of obscure 90 comic properties to get an animated movie, because it seems like a lot of them back then were like. Still remember the Max series.
Yep, I never read it, but I know what it is or watched it.
Yeah. And then my last movie, it's actually kind of a recent movie, is The Bad Guys 2. And
how was that?
They're really good. I really like the bad guy movies. The first one really surprised me, and this sequel, not as good as the first one, but I still think it's good. It's like it says, still follows the title bad guys, where they're trying to go good, but they're pretty much blackmailed by a all-female crime squad to come out of retirement to help them with one last heist. It's good. The animation's solid. It's like that CG, kind of CG Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse all animated movies are now using.
So it took 5 years for them to make it too?
Uh, Actually, no, it only took 3 years.
Wow, that's weird. Huh.
Yeah.
Tony should
Well-
should look into that.
Yeah, maybe if you have directors that aren't total assholes, maybe that seems to be the key. But yeah, no, that's all I've watched. Haven't watched too many movies, but yeah, a couple to check out.
All right. I have Zach, do you have any more to mention before I go?
Nope, I got them all.
Okay, good. So I've been on a kick because Netflix did something they don't do. They do every so often, and they have all the Bond movies on right now.
Oh,
So I was like, okay, let's see how far I can go in my Bond. I've seen almost all the Bond movies before anyway, because I am a Bond fan off and on. Even though rewatching these movies is there's some questionable. There's some questionable moments. I'm like,
oh, I'm sure.
I'm not sure how I feel anymore about some of these. But so I watched Doctor No. Still like it. It's a basic Bond movie because it's the first one, but it's fine. I didn't mind it. From Russia with Love is still one of my favorites. That is a really good movie, and it's very unique to the Bond movies because it's such a smaller story where they're just smuggling something out of Russia is really all it is.
Is that still Connery as Bond?
Yes. These are both These are all Connerys at first. And then Goldfinger, loved that movie when I was younger. I still love that movie. Also Connery. It's still good. Still holds up to this day. Thunderball, I've never really liked Thunderball. I still don't like Thunderball. I mean, it's impressive for what it is. They have underwater scenes, and you didn't have that in movies at the time. So it does do some very impressive things for the time as an action movie, but there's one scene where somebody tries to kill him in a stretching machine at a clinic, and this woman's like, I can get fired. He's like, I know what you could do to keep my mouth closed. And I'm like, no!
No.
But it was late 50s, early 60s.
Is that the Lazenby one, or is that
No,
still Connery?
that's still Connery.
Connery? Okay.
Yes, and then what was supposed to be the last Connery film was You Only Live Twice. That's the one in Japan with the space station, and in that movie, he has to be turned Japanese, so they dye his hair black.
Oh my
and
God.
put prosthetics on him. It's a good movie.
I need to watch that now.
It is just, I have never and you can tell he's done because he was fighting with the guys Eon and Broccoli, or Broccoli, whatever the fuck his name is. He's fighting with them at the time, so you can tell he's like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah. Whoa.
So it's not good. I never liked that movie, and I call it part of now I'm going to call it God, what the fuck is the Blofeld trilogy, because all the next 3 movies all have Blofeld before then the rights got combated. And you only and then there's On Her Majesty's Secret Service. That's the one with George Lazenby, his one movie. That is actually a decent movie that people do not give it enough credit because he just left. I mean, that movie has Bond get married for the only time, and then his wife gets killed by Blofeld, whatever the fuck his name is, and that is supposed to lead into the next movie, which doesn't completely, but I'll get there. It's just it's a really different movie, and it's actually a very good movie. It's well done. I really liked it more than I thought it was, just because the actor didn't go anywhere because he was stupid, and his agent told him to turn down the next movie for some reason, so he didn't do any sequels. That's why he's only in one Bond movie, because he turned it down. Because his agent told him, you don't want to do this, you'll be typecast.
That's the only thing I know him from.
That's the only thing he did.
Wow.
So, yeah. He didn't, he's just, I mean, he did some other stuff, but he would have been famous if he wouldn't have listened to his agent.
Right.
So, and then Diamonds Are Forever, which is Sean Connery's last official Bond movie, because Never Say Never is not officially a Bond movie, and it is a bad movie. I have never liked it. I still don't like it. It's the last of the Blofeld, where it's supposed to be starts off where he's getting revenge for his wife getting killed, but they don't even mention his wife in the previous movie. Not even one bit. He just wants revenge to kill the guy. Never says why, which I'm like, you could at least put this in, but I guess they didn't want to reference the guy that quit. I don't know. It's just a bad movie altogether. I don't like it. The plot's stupid. We're gonna make a laser cannon with diamonds, and it has 2 gay guys as the villain for a little part, and it's just the way they do it isn't great.
You mean that they were disrespectful to homosexuals?
Yes. Who would have thought that, huh? I know. It's bad. The whole movie is just dumb. I don't like it. Yeah, never liked it. And then I watched Live and Let Die last night. I finished that. Fuck, that movie is still good. That's Roger Moore's first Bond film. That movie still holds up.
Is that
The one in Louisiana and Jamaica.
Okay. I don't think I've seen that one.
It's one with Baron Samedi, and it has the Live or Let Die, da, da, wing song.
Yep.
Live or Let Die. I love that song, too. So that helped. But that's just a really good movie, and it still holds up extremely well. I was surprised. The jokes are still good. It's just a good Roger Moore movie in general, and that's where I stopped. Right now I'm on The Man with the Golden Gun, but I haven't finished that yet. Because when Netflix gets them, they only get them for a couple months, and they'll be gone by April. So, like, if you're hearing this, you go, oh, they're on there? If you want to watch them, hurry, because they don't last long. They get them once a year or every other year, and they only get them for a couple months, and then they're gone.
I was never too into Bond, but like when I was a kid, I watched The Spy Who Loved Me
Just a good movie.
bunch. Yeah, and so Roger Moore was my first Bond, and so I always thought it was weird when if you try to go back and watch the ones with Connery. I was like, that's not James Bond, and I'm sure that's like the opposite of what most people have experienced, right?
Yes. Well, it depends on your age group. Now it'll be Daniel Craig. That's Bond. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
It just for me. It was Goldfinger was the first one I saw, because that's the first one I think my dad introduced me to. So, but I just like them.
I also watched Moonraker a lot, and that one's ridiculous, but I liked it. I don't know if it would hold up.
I'm getting there. It's coming up for me. I think I remember being dumb as fuck, but we shall see.
I think my favorite, though, is probably GoldenEye, and I don't remember if it was your Discord or another one, but the people were slandering that movie recently.
It wasn't my Discord. I don't think so. I would have said something. GoldenEye, from what I remember, I watch it every couple of years. That movie's still a perfect movie.
It's a good movie, right?
Like, it's one of the best Bond films. I don't know why people are slandering it. I mean, the game, you can slander it nowadays, but the game's amazing. But no, GoldenEye's a fucking great fucking movie. I haven't gotten to it yet, though.
And it's got Famke Janssen in it.
That too, in a very, very sexy role.
Yeah.
I do like that. I'm looking forward to rewatching it when I get there. I'm trying to do them all in order. So I have a list of Wikipedia in order, and I'm just trying to go through them until either I finish them or they all get taken off the air. We'll see what happens first.
The race to the finish.
I've never seen all of them, actually. There's a few that I never got around to watching.
How many are there? Like 30, right?
I don't even know.
God.
I can tell you there's 17 based on the novels up until you get to GoldenEye. I can tell you that. Because GoldenEye is either the 17th or 18th one, and it's the first one not based on a Ian Fleming novel.
Right.
I looked that up. I didn't look up how many there are. I've never seen the last two, Spectre and No Time to Kill or whatever, No Time to Die, whatever the fuck it's called. I've never seen those, ever. And I've never seen the Timothy Dalton ones all the way through, I don't think. Or maybe I've seen the first one.
I saw the first one of those, and it was not great from what I recall.
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched both, but I'm trying to remedy that. I'm just, because they're there, I'm like, I'll just watch them. But I have to watch them when my wife isn't around, because Tiff hates, she's like, I'm not watching this shit. And I'm like, that's understandable. I'm like, I get it. Because these movies are fucking dated. Big time. Like, oh, the Thunderball, man, that scene when he's like, well, I know you can do to keep my mouth closed. She's like, no, James. And I'm like, I like you. No. Like, it's fine when the women are like, oh, James, and they want to have sex with you. When you're pretty much essentially blackmailing her to keep her job, I'm not okay with this, Bond. Like, don't do this. But it was the time, which I don't like saying, but... Yeah.
It doesn't really excuse it, but...
It doesn't excuse it at all.
It explains why it was made.
Yes. And that's how I look at it. Like, it explains the dumb reason it's there. That's everything I've been watching. Any other movies for you guys?
Nope,
Right,
I'm good.
I guess that ends the episode then. All right, we should go to plugs. And Zach, where can people find you at?
In addition to my show, Absolutely the Best Podcast, A Work in Progress, where we've ranked all the MCU movies and working now on the Alien and Predator franchises. We're calling that the AVPCU. And I did a Metroid ranking episode. I've also been co-hosting the Retro Game Club podcast more often than not. And I occasionally pop into Nerds of Broadcast. That's Phoebe Stanton's show. I email almost every show. So you can actually listen to her ruthlessly read every typo and grammatical error that I include in my emails, even though I proofread them. That's a great show, by the way. If you like good banter, that's a great show. Her and TV have fantastic chemistry. I don't even know what they're talking about half the time, but I just like to listen to them talk. So, but yeah, I've popped onto there recently, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I would plug this show, but we're on it right now.
Yeah, All right. And if you enjoyed this episode, there's over 900 other episodes of this podcast. We do movies, TV shows, video games, comics, all sorts of content. You can search anything you want on Podbean. You never know. We might have covered it. If you want to know if we covered the Hobbit animated movie, we have. Nobody's asking for that, but it's there. You never know what the fuck we're going to do. So check that out. You want to support the show? We do have a Patreon, little dog vote in our Patreon polls. We have 1 to 2 polls a month. Currently, the end of this month, there's still 2. So if you haven't voted, vote on that. It's going to be 1 here in March and then back to 2, just because I have other stuff I want to do. So check that out. If you donate $10 or more, we'll plug your podcast or YouTube every episode I do, like Zach's show you already heard about, and Phoebe's show. You can follow her as the Let's Play Princess on Twitch and YouTube, and check out her show, Nerds of Broadcast, that we already mentioned too. And join our Discord. If you want to be on the show, you want to suggest things for the show, we have a Discord. And also want to mention A Gamer Looks at 40, Bill Tucker's show. He also has his new podcast, Carrying My Cross, a religious show, but still very good. Check it out. Even I liked it, and I am not a religious person at all.
I like that qualifier.
Hey, I could care less about anything religion. I purposely don't like it, and I like it less after 2016 for some weird reason.
I could listen to Bill talk about anything except Final Fantasy. Sorry, Bill.
No, I don't think Bill wants to hear Bill talk about Final Fantasy either ever again. See, I warned him, but I was like, good, because on this show I don't tend to do the same topic very close together, so it takes me years to finish series. Mm-hmm. That's why, because you can get fucking burned out on something and never want to talk about it again.
Especially when you're doing RPGs, Jesus.
Yeah. No, you got to switch it up. Like that's why nothing on this show is ever too close together, even though it takes me fucking years to finish series. But that's why. All right, but check out his podcast and give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy Helena at Hell Has Freak. Follow her on TikTok and Instagram. And please follow us on Facebook, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, audio only. And rate and reviews wherever you get your podcast. Helps out the algorithm, makes me happy. So I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Sayonara.